logo file and then playing it back in the switcher. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into the editor application and then into the batch digitize section. And this is where we bring our MOV in. So we're going to go back to where we have an MOV. I have one in bins, I believe, actually. It's called MOV test. So I'm going to drag and drop the MOV into this section here. And it's basically ready to be encoded. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit start and say OK. And it's just digitized it. It's a very short clip. So now I'm going to go ahead and save this out into a timeline. I'm sorry, into a bin, and hit save now. And it actually goes into your C Globecaster bins clips folder. That's where it's located. You can move it out of there if you want. Like if I just want to put it in bins, I can actually just drag and drop it over here into bins. And there it is. And so now I'm going to go back into the switcher application, which is where I want to play it back from. And you know, basically I just load the clip up. So here in the bins directory, I've got it right here listed. If I double click on it, it loads into the preview. I actually don't, that's as far as I can take you because I don't have my time machine hooked up to anything. But then you can select it here and it starts playing it back. So that's really all there is to it.
So if I want to put my logo in the clear feed in TSK4.
Okay, if you want. Okay, so you're in it. So wait. Okay, so the way to do that would be to go into the Animator Compositor application. Okay, and then you load your MOV up here. So let's go ahead and get that MOV again. When you load it, it'll say, you know, it's longer than the current timeline. Do you want to extend it? Yes. And take a look at it. So, you know, this is it. This is all there is to that MOV. Okay, you need to make sure that when you save your MOV out, that you save it with an alpha channel. It needs to be a 32-bit MOV. Really, the better way to go, if you can do it, would be a either a file sequence or an AVI, because 32-bit AVIs can be 32-bit, and the 32-bit means that it has an alpha channel. Okay, but let's say for a second that that this does have an alpha channel and it is the right way. All you would do now is save this out as an overlay. And if you want it to loop, like if you want it to stay on screen for a long time, like or play over and over again, then you need to basically go to the beginning of the timeline, which is this button here, and go into your workspace properties and make sure you hit the loop button. Yes, alpha and loop. And then you would save it out. Then you just basically need to save it out just by dragging and dropping it, and it'll render out from here. And then when you're ready to, you'll go into the Animator Composite or the switcher, and this is where you'll load it from. So it's probably this file right here. Loads up as a DSK, and there it is looping. Yeah, you can load it. Well, you don't have to go into editor at all. If it's going to be a DSK, then you don't have to go into editor at all. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. And then this is for the logo to be animation. What about if I want to add sound to this logo while it's playing? I have to go to editor and import the sound and put it in the sound area?
You could, yeah, you could do that. If you're in the Animator Compositor, which is where we built the effect, and you will just added the sound. Now you have to have the sound first. You have to have the sound in the system. So if you've got a sound file, that has to be brought into the editor. Yes. So from the batch digitize section, you're going to go here. I'm going to remove this first.
I mean, if the transition, I want to play a transition, API transition.
Yep.
Sound.
Right.
I can have it here in the editor or go to animation right away.
Okay.
Something file with sound. API with sound.
Okay. So yeah, first off, you have to have the sound. So if it's a library or a sound effect that you have on CD or part of some effect library, you need to bring it into your computer either on CD or USB hard drive, whatever, and then you're going to bring your sound effect. So I have a sound effect in my C Windows folder. Let's go to Windows and let's go to Media. Media. Okay, so these are all just Windows noises, okay? But they would be basically the same thing as, your sound effect. So, like Windows, let's say Windows startup sound. So I drag Windows startup down here. This would be your sound effect. And you basically digitize that. So now that's done. And save it in a bin. And remember, it automatically goes into the clips bin. And it goes into projects. Sorry, not projects. It goes right here into clips. Okay. Now for your animation or your transition, you're going to drag and drop that noise right here onto the timeline. So if I go into bins and I go into clips, I can grab this noise and drag it right onto the timeline. Now in this case, this sound effect is much longer than my my effect. Okay, so you can either shorten it just by dragging the handlebar back, or just leave it the length that it is, and it'll just play the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, just shorten it actually, and then you basically just save it out again. So we'll just, I'll right click right below the workspace here. I'll right click and say rename project, and I'm going to say with sound, and drag and drop. Okay, so it saved it out. Now you can see on this one it's got a little glyph up in the corner here that tells me that there's a sound effect to it.
Yeah.
Okay, now in the switcher, when you load it up in the switcher, let's go to it. Now see how it highlighted this little area here?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the problem is I don't have sound. I don't have an audio mixer connected here, but
No, it's okay.
now the last.
Can I play it right now?
Huh?
If I press TSK1, it's gonna play with sound.
Correct. Correct.
I have to choose something from here, or?
Yeah, you have to go into mixer preferences, and you'll have to assign audio for it'll be TM1 SFX. sound effects, SFX. And then in the audio mixer, you'll have to make sure that your faders are turned up. Otherwise, you won't hear anything.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Got it. I have to try it by myself.
Okay.